So, Nick Rodway, welcome back. It's been a while since you've been here, but you had some results out that we didn't get to talk about. So maybe I'll just renew everybody's memory here. The Pete's target you released back in August, the results from that, which included 6.4 meters of 159 grams per ton silver, 16.4% lead zinc, and 0.23% copper. Now, at that time, you had mentioned a 2.4 kilometer trend. So how were you noticing that trend at the time?
So it was all of this was constructed through boots and hammer prospecting, so on surface, a lot of which I was a part of personally. And you can actually go to the galley target, which is the subject of today's news release, and you can stand there and you can see this limestone trend that goes all the way from Galley to Pete's, which is over 2.4 kilometers. So that actually was something we knew existed because you can see the mineralization at surface. So we put a drill at one end of it, which was at the Pete's area where we saw very high grade silver. Of course, you just recited our title of the news release, which was a very high grade intercept, very close to surface. And then we stepped to the south down to Galley where we saw extremely high grade, over a kilogram per ton silver at surface. And then we drilled it, and none of our holes were more than 100 meters in depth. I think the deepest one might even have been just over 50 meters. And 11 of these holes intersected silver numbers. Even some of them were above 1,000 grams per ton silver, so a kilogram silver per ton, and over 30% zinc lead combined. And there's also some 1% plus copper within that too. So there's a bunch of different intercepts in that news release. But what this tells us is that not only can you see it at surface and that it exists and it's tangible, but now it's in drill core, which is really exciting for us. And it's just like a big check mark, obviously, for this whole journey.
For sure, yeah. I mean, obviously you guys saw it at surface and now you confirmed it at depth. And that trend, I mean, more than 2.4 kilometers away is such a large area. So you can imagine the potential size of this system.
And again, that 2.4 kilometers is just one of many other trends that you can see there. You know,
right.
there's we keep talking about the hub and spoke model, hub being the center or the intrusion that's feeding it. As you step outwards from the hub, you get spokes, get closer to the rim of the tire, you're going to get your higher grade silver numbers. And so now we have four of these now drilled and proven. Grizzly being one, Jackie being one, Galley being one, and Pete's. So we continue to up our confidence, and we continue to show that this system is extremely, extremely large. You can fit some world-class deposits, just within some of our drill pad areas, let alone, stepping out 2.4 kilometers. So.
Now, you also mentioned that you have some 3D survey results pending. Now, maybe you can just talk about what the results from a 3D survey will look like, or what it will tell you on a system like this.
So it's similar to the beginning of this story where we did a geophysical survey, airborne, a VTEM survey. So that was electromagnetics and magnetics. That was a regional survey. We did that after we made the initial discovery at surface. And then here we are again. Now we're drilling and having success, and now we're doing a IP survey, following seeing the mineralization. So it's kind of a different, kind of backwards to what you normally do.
Yeah, normally you do that survey first, correct?
Correct, and then you go after, blind targets, right?
Yeah.
But when you're not blind, you can see at surface. It's a bit of a game changer. But the idea of the survey was to do very close-spaced lines over the visual mineralization at surface, which is now drilled. So that's your high-grade silver, zinc, lead. And then as you get in closer to what's known as the hub or the causative intrusion, we did a little wider spacing, and what this survey will allow us to do is look at the chargeability anomalies and help us target the feeders that are coming out to these more distal silver, zinc, lead rich things, and then back in towards the intrusion, which we also have hit with the drill bit. In 2022, we hit that with the drill bit. We got a lot of molybdenum over hundreds of meters. And now the idea is to find out where all the copper is coming from, because our carbonate replacement system has a lot of copper. Every single drill result we have has copper credit in it, which sets us apart from most other deposits in Canada and North America even.
And you'll typically have in the center of that hub and spoke model the molybdenum and the copper, and then as you get further away from that, you'll see that high grade silver.
That's
correct. Right.
Correct.
And so that's kind of what we're seeing already.
Yeah, well, they're geochemically zoned, and certain minerals precipitate at certain temperatures. So your silver is your furthest away, and your copper molybdenum is generally in the middle. So yeah, I mean, it takes time to build a model to get this geochem correct. And remember, we started from nothing, right? It wasn't even mapped. So there's no projects like that. Usually, it's at least detailed mapped by the GSC, but instead our team mapped this area because of the glacial cover, right? So we had to start from the beginning, and we're doing all the regular geological techniques to bring us to the top, except we're having we're getting extreme high grade material in our drill intercepts.
And this isn't, and you guys aren't done this season. You still have results pending from Jackie as well, which is about, was it 2 kilometers east of this kind of area? Or
that's correct. Yeah, I mean, you can think of that as another spoke. Is there another intrusion? Is there a cluster of intrusions that are feeding it? We don't really know, right? The surface is barely scratched, but we did put out a news release about a month ago on our visuals at Jackie. And again, if you look through the history of our news and you look at the visuals and you see the textures, you can get a good idea of what's going on. And as I said once before, there's less secrets as we go on.
Yeah.
But we have some very beautiful intercepts at Jackie, visually speaking, and we're still waiting for those results to come in. But yeah, I mean, it's something to look forward to here in the next little bit.
Yeah, so we'll look forward to the 3-day results, which will show some of those, anomalies in the system, as well as these Jackie results, which could be a whole nother spoke from the system as well. So we're super excited to get those results, but great results here today. Nick, is there anything else you wanted to let people know?
Well, again, it's all about size. And if you can have size with grade, you're talking over 300 gram per ton silver, then that's what you want to see in these deposits. And we're getting larger intercepts now too, more than mineable widths, over 4 meters, even 8 meters, 10 meters of material that is highly elevated in silver. And then within those increments, those intercepts, we're getting stuff like half a meter of over a kilogram silver with 30% zinc lead combined and over 1% copper. That's our copper numbers at Galley are some of the highest.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see how that copper continues over the whole area. And again, that's another credit, right?
Is there any reason why that copper would continue over the area?
Well, I mean, I don't have a 100% reason for it. I don't know, but I do know that it has to be coming from somewhere. So if there's high-grade copper in these spokes associated with the high-grade silver as well, it makes me think that maybe this intrusion is very, it must have a lot of copper
quite
in it
big to let a little bit.
And it must have been a lot of heat, polyphase, a lot of pressure to get it to go that distal.
Right, because normally it wouldn't.
No, normally it wouldn't. It would, and there's a lot of other comparable deposits out there like that. But this is looking more like something in the Chihuahua, Mexico, with a southwestern United States type porphyry feeding it.
Right.
And it's only a matter of time before we're going to tap into that extra good intercept and the porphyry that's feeding it.
And like you've mentioned before, there's not really any other projects like those down in Mexico where they haven't been touched before. So
very uncommon these days to stumble on something like this with this kind of grade. So we couldn't be happier, and we can't wait to just continue to unravel the different pieces of this story and piece it together. And so far, it's looking really, really good.
Well, as we said before, you're checking all the boxes, so we can't wait for the next results coming. Nick, thanks for coming in, and we'll chat soon.
Can't wait to come on again.